Alright guys, Crypto Kurt here with a follow-up video on the Spectre ICO, which is scheduled for the pre-sale on October 27th. And there will be a promo code, a referral code, that is Quantum, one word Quantum. If you do want to get involved, please use the promo code. It'll throw me a bone and helps me keep this channel going and keep you guys informed. So I've already done a full-blown 20-minute long video on what Spectre is. There's going to be two different tokens that are currently, or that will be available. Again, please go watch that video. It goes in depth. It ran a bit long. That's why I'm doing this follow-up video, because I wanted to show you guys the trading platform and also play around with some of the potential future passive income earnings based on the number of tokens that you potentially will own. All right, so just as a quick review, there's going to be a D token, which is a dividend token, and then there's going to be a U token, which is a utility token. You can see the advantages of the dividend token is you're going to get a normal dividend paid out every month. You're going to get a special dividend, which is paid out once at the end of each year, and then they're also providing some yield protection. The advantages of the utility token, you're going to get 1 to 5% higher trade payouts on smart option contracts, 10 micro pip better spread on ULC CFDs. Now, I am not a trader, especially when it gets into the currencies and the FX and all that, so maybe someone can actually tell me what that means. All trade expires on smart contracts, blah, 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 blah. So I won't bore you with all that. The point is that you've got a utility token, which you're going to use to actually trade on the platform, and you're going to have a dividend token, which you can invest in to simply get dividends. Disadvantages of the dividend token: low liquidity. In other words, to buy and sell those is going to be hard to do in the markets. And they explain why in one of the videos with the CEO. They're actually going to put a lot more effort into getting the utility tokens listed first before they even think about putting the dividend tokens out on the market. And then the disadvantage of the utility token is there's no dividends. So again, it depends on which side of the game you want to play. But let's not waste any more time on that. Let's get into what the platform actually looks like. Now, once again, for those of you who are traders, this might make a lot of sense to you. I've played with this. I'll actually show you that when you first start out, when you register, this is all kind of a fake account at the moment. They're not doing live trades. This is all test platform, and they give you 1,000 Ether to start with. I'll come down here. You can see I've made 2 trades, and one I made money, and so I won one and lost one. And what I'm doing in this particular instance is I'm playing the Australian dollar versus the US dollar. And you can come in here and you can see that at the moment they have all of these variations where you can play currency against currency. So again, I'm sticking with the USD. You can see what happened here. We've had some big moves up and down in just the last few minutes. So because it's trending down, the thing is, this is where I think, if you're a trader, you're probably going to love it. If you're not a trader, you're probably going to come in here and lose your ass. So I would warn everyone to get their head around what this trading stuff is. Now, you also have lots of good stuff in here. There's videos, there's training videos you can go through, which talk to you about all the different types of trades. And again, this is way over my head, but I at least wanted to show you how to do it. We're going to do a fake trade now. So it's going down, it's going down. I'm going to bet that it's going up. I'm going to say I'm going to bet 10 minutes. I'm going to do size 1, which is 1% basically. So I'm saying take 1% of my holdings. My payout will be 17 if I win. That's a 78% payout, and that will happen in 10 minutes. And it's not letting me do that. Freestyle, we'll take freestyle. And I'm still getting an error. I don't know why that's happening. Okay, so here we go. Forex markets closed on the weekend, so that's why I'm getting the error. And I believe that once this thing is going live, they're going to be trading 24/7. So at the moment, we're tied to what the Forex markets can do. So anyway, that's what you do to make a trade. Basically, you come in here and you guess up or down, and you tell it how long you want that trade to run for. And I guess this is how people trade, not the cryptos, but the FX market. Again, this is something that's brand new to me, but I thought I'd just show you how the system works. Again, this is a fake platform that you can come in here and play with. So that's how it's going to work. Now, the tokens are going to be available to purchase using ETH, and they're going to be giving you out 2,000 tokens. I believe there's 120 million of each type of token in total, and in the ICO, they're going to be selling or making available 50% of both of those. So I think that's how that's going to work in the ICO. Again, 2,000 tokens on either side, whether it's the dividend token or the utility token, is going to cost you 1 Ethereum. When I did my intro video, 2 days ago, Ethereum was at $2.99, so I suggested you might want to buy some then to lock that in, and that probably would have been good advice. On that point, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This should be construed as entertainment and educational purposes only. So, having said that, let's have a play with the numbers with the tokens. Okay. Now, what I've done, and if you go into their, hang on a second, I'll take you back. Okay, so what you can do is you come to the document section and come down to the forecasts. Okay, go into forecasts and it'll bring up this spreadsheet. And what I want to point out is they have a balanced assumption, a bullish assumption, and a bearish assumption. Again, the 3 variables are how much did they sell in the ICO, how many traders do they have on their platform, and what's the trade size. So what I've done in my spreadsheet is I've taken the numbers from the balanced scenario. So you can see these are the numbers that they're projecting out to 2008. All I've done is taken those and put them into my U-Butte spreadsheet. The difference between my spreadsheet and their spreadsheet, I can change the number of tokens and we can get some ideas of the annual earnings that potentially we will get, okay? So again, these are their assumptions. Everything here is what they've put forward in the balanced scenario. The only thing I've changed is the number of tokens that we can have a look at, okay? So again, if we say 2,000 tokens, which is $311 US, the question is, would you spend $311 to earn $47,248 over the next 10 years? And you can see how that breakdown occurs. And of course, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger per year. Now, let's say you want to spend $600 or $622. So there's your numbers there, $4,000. All of a sudden now, over the next 10 years, you've invested $600 and you're making close to $100,000 in annual earnings. Let's say you want to invest $900 and we go for 6,000 tokens. Now we're looking at $32,000 in the last year, 2028, total of $141,000. Again, over the 10-year period. So we can keep playing with this. I actually did have one of my the viewer in my previous video, when I said 50,000 tokens, I made a mathematical error on how many ETH that would take. 50,000 tokens is only 25 ETH, because they're giving obviously 2,000 tokens per 1 ETH. So if you want 50,000 tokens, you give them 25 ETH, and there you go. There's your 50,000 tokens. And at 50,000 tokens, you can see the numbers are fairly full on. You're talking about $1.1 million after 10 years. If these numbers play out, there's a lot of assumptions here. They have put forward their own growth plans, their own numbers. I will mention though that they're going to have what they're calling a DApp platform. So distributed apps are going to be able to be developed on top of the platform using their liquidity pool. So if you were a developer and you liked their platform, and let's say you wanted to do something interesting to access the money leverage in that liquidity pool, every transaction that you create in your DApp is also going to pay in the 2% to the liquidity pool. And so the more apps that are created that will potentially use the liquidity pool will also grow the liquidity pool. So these guys are not just trading FX. They want to be trading cryptos. They're going to be trading all kinds of things, a lot of different things. So again, it's kind of exciting. So I mentioned too in my previous video, I was going to look at the potential growth in ETH as well. And again, I had one of my subs say, hey, you didn't do the growth in ETH. Can you look at that? So let's do that. So let's go back to the 2,000. Let's say you're only going to put in $300, which is probably where I'm going to be. I might put in 600. I might get 100 of each. Sorry, 2,000 of each, or 1 ETH of each. But we'll see. We have until October 27th to make that decision. In one of the previous interviews with the CEO, and there's a number of them that are currently available. Jay Snip, BTC Consultant, and Mike B all have interviews with this guy. And he mentioned that at the moment that the big money, the big investors, and he was talking about 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 ETH. I was like, could you imagine having 50,000 ETH that you could throw at anything. Anyway, those big players are interested in the utility token side, and it seems that those of us who are on the smaller side of the amount of ETH that we have available or are going to invest in this seem to be more interested in the dividend token. I find that kind of interesting. It's almost like a mindset. The smaller money is looking at the guaranteed money, whereas the big money is looking at the big bet. So that's why I think I'm going to play both sides of it. But because you're being paid out in Ether, you have the potential to have the ETH grow in value over time. Now, guys, this is completely speculative on my part. Please, don't take this as gospel. I am simply saying, hey, what potentially could happen to the price of ETH over the next 10 years? Okay, so again, we're starting next year in 2018. The platform goes live next year, and let's say we go out 10 years. And I'm just going to speculate that the value of ETH 10 years from now is going to be $3,000. I'm speculating that it's going to be a 10x return over the next 10 years. So what I've simply done is some very basic math. In 2018, I've left it as it is. Let's say that ETH does zero growth in ETH in the first year. This time next year, there's been no growth in ETH. It's still trading at $311. That probably won't happen, but that's my assumption. Okay. In year 2, that's doubled. So again, what we're going to say is this is going to increase by 1 times every year. Okay. So in year 3, you're paid out in 617 in present value of ETH. But let's say that ETH is actually 3 times more valuable. So your value that you're actually going to get, the actual value, if you went and sold the tokens on the platform, in the markets, and you sold them for ETH, right? How much ETH would you get? And then you could turn that back around and sell those for dollars, right? Excuse me. So in year 2020, I'm looking at a 4 times growth, and that's all that I've done here. Basically, is increasing the value of ETH by 1 time each year. And so your $8,000 that you're paid out in dividends in present value in the year 2026 potentially is worth actually $75,000 because it's now 9 times. Ether is now 9 times more valuable than it was today. So, but just by applying the same number, just by putting in $300 and getting 2,000 tokens, potentially, if ETH grows up 10 times over the next 10 years, that $300 will actually have a future value of $411,265. Again, so this starts to get crazy when you start putting more money in, right? Now you put in $600 and now it's worth $822,000. Let's say you got a little bit more money. You want to put in the $12,000. You're looking at 2.4 mil. And if you actually could put in the 50,000, 10,281,000. And again, guys, this is simply speculative. It's all me just guessing what the value of ETH could potentially be. I don't think that ETH in 10 years being worth 3,000 is too much of a stretch, right? But the reality is, this is guesswork. This is having fun. This is dreaming. But could you imagine, putting in however much? So what's that? 311 times 25, right? If that math is correct. So you're going to put in just under eight grand, and you're going to be pulling 10 million in 10 years. Holy crapola. Again, come back to my simply put in $300 and you're going to have close to $500,000. As I said, I'll probably be going both. So we'll come back to the 4,000. 1 ETH in both is going to cost me $622 as of today. And that's going to generate $822,000 in future revenues. Take out the future revenues, put in 600, and you're going to make close to 100,000 in passive income. And once again, guys, this is not taking into consideration anything I do with this money. This is not taking into consideration me putting it into compounding. What if you took this money and went to the Salt lending platform? So you take, in year 3, you take your 2,200, put that in, and you go borrow that back out, and then you go, again, purchase some more ETH or whatever, another crypto. So again, the reason why I would even suggest using Salt is because, remember, guys, it doesn't trigger a taxable event. So, if you take your cryptos and you put it into Salt, and again, I don't want to confuse people. It's not about Salt, but the point is that there's ways to leverage this income and make even more money going forward. And this has nothing. This has no compounding or anything. This is just straight payouts based on the value. All right, guys. So that's it. Once again, today is the first day of the rest of your life. You don't need to go out and buy this particular ICO. Yeah, sure. I mean, it's an opportunity, but you got to have faith in the platform. You got to have faith in the traders. You got to have faith that this is going somewhere. You may not have faith in that, but you know what? Get out there and find something. There is a crypto for everyone, I guarantee you. And there's a link down below to jump into an exchange, get signed up there if you want to sign up and get started doing some stuff. Again, but take some advantage. You're taking a great step by watching these videos. There's dozens and hundreds and thousands of other videos out there. There's some people putting out some great content. So just get started, get involved, and just start learning about this stuff. I think it's pretty amazing. And that's it, guys. Crypto Kurt out on this one.